Certainly, here's a speech inspired by Tony Robbins' style. Use this formula to easily improve your life. Are you ready to change your life, to take control, and to truly live the life you deserve? It's time to stop waiting for the perfect moment and start making the change right now. There's a simple formula that I've found to be the key to unlocking the life you've always wanted. It's easy to remember, it's powerful, and best of all, it's in your hands today. This formula consists of 3 key principles: decision, action, and focus. Let me break it down for you. Step 1, decision. The first step in any transformation is making a decision. And I'm not talking about just any decision. I'm talking about making a committed decision. A decision that tells the universe, this is my time. When you decide that enough is enough, when you decide that you're not going to settle for anything less than extraordinary, everything starts to change. Too many people live their lives on autopilot, drifting aimlessly from one day to the next. But if you want to improve your life, if you want to take it to the next level, you have to start by making a clear, committed decision. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Make a decision to be extraordinary today. Step 2, action. Once you make that decision, the next step is to take massive action. Don't wait for the stars to align or for everything to be perfect. Perfection doesn't exist. It's in the action you take, the momentum you create, that real transformation happens. You've heard it before, action cures fear. When you move, when you step into your greatness, you will start seeing results, even if they're small at first. And those results will keep propelling you forward. It's easy to fall into the trap of overthinking, waiting for the right time, or trying to plan every little detail. But the truth is, the moment you take action, you create opportunities, you build confidence, and you learn what works and what doesn't. You have the power to create your future through your actions. Step 3, focus. The final piece of the formula is focus. You can make the right decision and take the right action, but if your focus is scattered, you won't see the results you desire. Focus is everything. It's what determines whether or not you'll make it through the challenges, the setbacks, and the moments of doubt. If you focus on what you want, on the outcome, on the end results, you will create a mindset that fuels your progress. You need to be relentless in your pursuit of your goals. Cut out the distractions, eliminate the negativity, and channel your energy into what matters most. Remember, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So make sure you're focused on your growth, your success, and your potential. By following this formula of decision, action, and focus, you will begin to see massive change in your life. And the best part, you don't have to wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment is. Key point 1, make a committed decision. The foundation of any transformation, whether it's in your career, relationships, health, or personal growth, begins with a single moment, the moment you make a committed decision to change. It's not just about deciding in passing or casually thinking about something you want to achieve. A committed decision is one that comes from deep within, one that you make with full intention and focus, knowing that it's the first step toward a whole new future. Why a committed decision is so important. You see, every outcome in your life is determined by the decisions you make. At every point, you're faced with choices that shape your destiny. Many people underestimate the power of making a real decision. But the truth is, when you make a decision with full commitment, you signal to the universe that you are ready for what's next. You make it clear that you're not going to sit on the sidelines anymore. You take ownership of your life, and when you do that, the doors of opportunity start opening. Now, so go ahead and make the decision, take the action, and focus your energy on what you want to achieve. Your future begins today. Here are 6 key points from the speech 1. Make a committed decision, transform your life by making a clear, committed decision to pursue the extraordinary. It's about taking charge and saying, this is my time. 2, take massive action, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Take action now, even if it's imperfect. Action breeds momentum and creates real transformation. 3, overcome fear with action. Taking action is the antidote to fear. The more you move, the more you build confidence and clarity in your path. 4, eliminate overthinking. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Instead, take bold steps forward and learn as you go, making adjustments as needed. 5, focus on what matters. Direct your focus on your goals and eliminate distractions that don't align with your vision. Where you focus, your energy flows. 6, consistency is key. Consistent decisions, actions, and focus are the pillars of success. Don't rely on a one-time effort. Make these 3 steps a part of your everyday life. When you make a committed decision, you are no longer bound by excuses, fear, or doubt. Instead, you're filled with a sense of purpose and determination. There's a shift that happens within you suddenly. The distractions and obstacles that once seemed so powerful begin to fade away. Why? Because your commitment is stronger than any external challenge you'll face. The key here is commitment. It's about saying, this is my time. It's about acknowledging that your success, your happiness, and your future are not something that will be handed to you. They're things you have to go after and claim. And that starts with the decision you make today. The power of making a committed decision means that you're fully invested in the outcome. You no longer leave your future in the hands of circumstances, other people, or random events. You take full responsibility for your life and you start making decisions that align with your goals and values. You might wonder, but what if I fail? What if I don't know if I'm making the right choice? Here's the truth. When you commit, failure is no longer a reason to turn back. It's part of the process. Every successful person has faced challenges, setbacks, and even failures. But they didn't quit because they were committed. They used every obstacle as fuel to continue moving forward. Commitment doesn't mean that everything will be perfect or that the journey will be easy. It means that no matter what, you'll stick with it. Even when things get tough, you'll remind yourself why you made the decision in the first place. You'll find the strength to keep going because your commitment will push you through when everything else might tempt you to quit. The difference between a casual decision and a committed decision, there's a huge difference between making a casual decision and a committed decision. A casual decision is a fleeting thought, something you might decide to do, but don't fully invest in. It's easy to let go of a casual decision because you're not emotionally attached to it. It's almost like trying something out to see if it works. If it doesn't, you walk away without feeling like you've lost much. A committed decision, on the other hand, is something that sticks with you. It's like planting a flag in the ground and saying, this is where I stand. It requires mental, emotional, and sometimes physical investment. You're no longer just thinking about it, you're living it. You're ready to put in the work, face the challenges, and do whatever it takes to see it through. The power of making a committed decision is that it doesn't leave room for doubt. Once you decide, you don't keep second-guessing yourself. You stop looking for signs or waiting for conditions to be just right. You start acting, knowing that the universe will conspire to support you when you're truly aligned with your purpose. How to make a committed decision. So how do you make a committed decision? First, get clear about what you want. What is it that you want to change in your life? What kind of person do you want to become? Ask yourself these questions with honesty. Clarity is crucial. You can't make a real commitment if you're unclear about your desires and goals. Next, you need to feel the emotional weight of that decision. Commitment isn't just a mental process, it's emotional too. When you make a decision, it has to resonate deeply with you. It has to stir something within. You need to visualize what your life would look like once you've achieved this goal. Imagine the pride, the fulfillment, and the joy you'll experience. Feel the emotions now so that they become the driving force behind your commitment. Finally, create a plan of action. A decision without a plan is just a dream. Once you've committed, break down your goal into actionable steps. Start taking those steps immediately. The key is to keep moving forward. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it will never come. The perfect moment is right now, in this very moment, when you make the decision to act. The result of a committed decision. Once you've made that committed decision, you'll notice a shift. Things that once seemed impossible now seem possible. Obstacles that once intimidated you now look like stepping stones. And most importantly, you'll begin to see results because you've taken that first bold step. Making a committed decision is the ultimate game changer. It gives you the clarity, focus, and drive to pursue your dreams. It turns your intentions into actions and propels you towards success. So make the decision today. Commit to the future you've always dreamed of and watch how your life begins to transform. Key point 2, take massive action. Taking massive action is one of the most crucial steps to transforming your life. Once you've made a committed decision, the next step is to move into action. But not just any action, massive action. It's the fuel that powers your journey, pushing you forward and creating the momentum needed to achieve extraordinary results. Without action, your decision is just a dream. The world won't hand you what you want simply because you desire it. You have to go out and claim it by taking consistent, bold action. The power of massive action is about doing what others are unwilling to do. It's about going above and beyond the ordinary efforts most people make. When you take massive action, you're not waiting for things to magically fall into place. You're making things happen. You're putting in the work, the time, and the effort. And most importantly, you're doing it with a sense of urgency, knowing that success doesn't wait around for anyone. The power of massive action lies in the results it produces. When you act with intention and determination, you begin to create momentum. And momentum is everything. Once you start moving, things begin to unfold. Opportunities present themselves, connections are made, and doors that were once closed begin to open. This momentum can carry you through the toughest times, helping you overcome challenges and setbacks because it keeps you in motion. But here's the key. It's not about simply being busy. It's about being effective. Taking massive action means that you're not just putting in effort for the sake of effort. You're being intentional with your actions and aligning them with your goals. When you focus your efforts in the right direction, the results come faster and your progress becomes exponential. Why waiting doesn't work? One of the biggest traps many people fall into is waiting. They wait for the right time, the perfect moment, for conditions to be ideal before they take action. The truth is, the perfect time will never come. If you're constantly waiting for everything to be in place before you act, you'll find that life passes you by. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to get started. Conclusion: the road to success is paved with action. To sum it up, taking massive action is the key that unlocks your success. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. You can dream, plan, and think about your goals all day long, but nothing will change until you act. So take action, take massive action, and take it now. When you stop waiting for the perfect time and start moving, you begin to create momentum, build confidence, and turn your dreams into reality. The more you act, the more opportunities you'll find. And the more you push through your fears and doubts, the closer you get to the life you truly want. Key point 3, overcome fear with action. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that can hold us back from achieving our goals. It's natural to feel afraid when we venture into the unknown or face a challenge that seems bigger than ourselves. But the truth is, fear is often a greater obstacle than the actual challenge we're facing. The key to overcoming fear is not by waiting for it to disappear or by finding ways to eliminate it. Instead, the solution lies in taking action. But the reality is that most of what we fear is not as dangerous as our mind makes it out to be. The worst-case scenarios we imagine rarely come to fruition. Fear tends to inflate our worries, making them seem much larger than they really are. When we take the first step and face our fears head on, we begin to realize that the fear was simply a barrier we created in our own minds. Action diminishes fear. The key to overcoming fear is simple: take action. The more you act, the less control fear has over you. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. The darkness, fear fades away as soon as you begin to move. When you take action, you shift your focus from the fear itself to the task at hand. You start to focus on what you need to do to move forward rather than what might go wrong. It's important to understand that action doesn't require you to have all the answers or to be perfect. In fact, it's often the imperfections and mistakes that help you grow stronger. When you make the decision to act, even in the face of fear, you are telling yourself that you are in control. Fear no longer controls you. You are the one making the decisions. Fear thrives when we stand still, when we hesitate, or when we procrastinate. It becomes magnified in our minds when we give it time to fester. The longer we avoid facing our fears, the bigger they seem. But the moment we take action, the fear starts to shrink, and the challenge that once seemed insurmountable becomes more manageable. The act of moving forward is the antidote to fear. Why fear holds us back? Fear has a natural protective role. It's a biological response designed to keep us safe from harm. However, when fear starts to interfere with our ability to take action, it becomes a problem. Fear can show up in many ways: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of rejection, or even fear of success. These fears often hold us back from taking risks, making bold decisions, or stepping outside our comfort zones. Fear causes us to doubt ourselves and question our abilities. We might tell ourselves that we're not good enough, not ready, or not worthy of success. The more we feed into these thoughts, the more power fear has over us. It creates a mental block, and instead of pushing forward, we retreat and stay stuck in our current situation. Taking action can feel uncomfortable at first, and that's normal. It's part of stepping outside your comfort zone, which is where all growth happens. As you continue to take action, you'll notice that the discomfort lessens and the fear starts to lose its grip on you. Over time, you'll become more confident, more capable, and more resilient in the face of fear. The cycle of fear and action, it's easy to fall into a cycle where fear causes hesitation, and hesitation leads to inaction. The longer you wait to take action, the more fear can grow in your mind. But the opposite is also true. The more you act, the less fear will have a hold on you. Taking action breaks this cycle. Every small action you take disrupts the fear and replaces it with a sense of progress. Progress leads to confidence, and confidence breaks down even more fear. It's a powerful cycle. The more you act, the more you reinforce the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. For example, if you're afraid of public speaking, the best way to overcome that fear is to get in front of people and speak. The first time may feel terrifying, but as you continue to speak in front of audiences, you'll notice that the fear starts to diminish. The key is repetition. The more you do it, the less fear has a chance to control you. Fear of failure V's. Fear of success, fear of failure is one of the most common forms of fear that people experience, and it can be paralyzing. The fear of failing can prevent you from taking the necessary steps to reach your goals. But what if I told you that the fear of success is just as powerful, if not more so? Many people are afraid of succeeding because they fear the responsibility that comes with it, or they feel they aren't worthy of success. Success can come with its own set of challenges and expectations, and that can cause anxiety. However, both fears, the fear of failure and the fear of success, are based on assumptions. They are not facts, and the only way to prove those fears wrong is through your own. Taking action helps you build the experience and the confidence needed to handle both failure and success. The more you act, the more you'll realize that neither fear has the power to control you. Failure is simply feedback, and success is an opportunity for growth. Both are stepping stones on the way to achieving your goals. Reframing fear as a growth opportunity instead of seeing fear as something to avoid, try reframing it as a sign of growth. Fear is often a signal that you're on the right track. It means that you're pushing yourself to grow and expand beyond your comfort zone. It's the feeling you get when you're about to accomplish something meaningful and significant. Every time you feel fear, it's an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are capable of handling more than you thought possible. Fear is not a barrier, it's a gateway to greater things. It's a signal that you're moving toward the unknown, where all growth happens. How to take action despite fear? 1. Start small. You don't have to take huge leaps right away. Start with small, manageable steps and build momentum from there. Each small action will lessen the fear. 2. Acknowledge the fear. Recognize that fear is a natural part of the process. Don't try to ignore it or push it away. Instead, acknowledge it and move forward anyway. 3. Focus on the present. Fear often arises when we worry about the future. Stay focused on the present moment and what you can control right now. 4. Reframe failure. Instead of fearing failure, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Understand that mistakes are part of the process and lead to improvement. 5. Keep going. The more you take action, the more fear will diminish. Keep moving forward even if it feels uncomfortable. Each step brings you closer to your goal. Conclusion: fear is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to control you. The secret to overcoming fear is not avoiding it, but facing it head on through action. When you take massive action, you push through the fear, build confidence, and create momentum. Each step you take, no matter how small, reduces the power of fear over you and brings you closer to your goals. So take action today and let that be the key to unlocking your success. Massive action is about eliminating the need for perfection. It's about taking imperfect action, knowing that mistakes and failures are part of the journey. The key is to keep moving even when things aren't perfect. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Think about it. How many successful people do you know who started with everything figured out? Most of them learned as they went along. They took action first, and through trial and error, they refined the ranks. The act of moving forward taught them lessons that they could never have learned by just thinking about it. Action is what leads to growth. Overcoming fear through action. Another reason why massive action is so powerful is that it helps overcome fear. Fear is often what holds people back from taking the first step. It's natural to feel fear when venturing into the unknown, but the way to break through that fear is not by waiting for it to go away. It's by taking action despite when you take action, you start to see that the fear is often exaggerated. The things you were afraid of are not nearly as daunting when you face them head on. Fear thrives in the absence of action. When you're not moving, fear builds up and it paralyzes you. But when you're actively working toward your goals, fear starts to dissipate because you're no longer giving it power. Massive action forces you to confront your fears and move through them. It's like stepping into the unknown where the only way out is forward. And as you continue to take action, fear loses its grip on you. Each time you move forward, no matter how small the step, your confidence grows and fear has less influence over your decisions. The role of persistence and massive action. Taking massive action is not about getting quick results. It's about consistency and persistence. You might not see immediate results, but the key is to keep showing up day in and day out. Success doesn't come overnight, and it's the people who are willing to keep pushing forward even when the going gets tough that ultimately succeed. There will be days when things don't go as planned. There will be setbacks, challenges, and moments when you feel like giving up. But massive action is about persistence. It's about doing whatever it takes to continue moving forward. No matter the obstacles. The best example of this is when you learn a new skill or start a new venture. In the beginning, it may feel like you're not making much progress. You might hit roadblocks or experience failure. But if you keep taking action, whether it's refining your approach, adjusting your strategy, or trying a new tactic, you'll eventually break through. It's the persistent effort that leads to growth. The importance of focusing on the right actions. Massive action is only effective when you focus on the right actions. It's easy to fall into the trap of being busy without making real progress. That's why it's crucial to align your actions with your goals. Every step you take should be intentional and strategic. Ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now getting me closer to where I want to be? If the answer is no, then it's time to refocus. Massive action is about not just doing more, but doing what matters, the things that will move you closer to your vision. Whether it's reaching out to the right people, learning a new skill, or taking on a new project, each action should be purpose-driven. The reality is that failure gives you the feedback you need to improve. When something doesn't work out, it offers you invaluable lessons that success alone cannot provide. These lessons teach you what doesn't work, what needs adjustment, and what can be improved. They also teach you resilience, persistence, and the ability to adapt. For example, if you're learning to play the guitar, you might fail many times before you get it right. Each failure teaches you what notes to play differently, how to position your fingers, and how to build your muscle memory. If you give up after a few failures, you will never learn. But if you view each failure as feedback and keep adjusting your approach, you will eventually reach success. Why people fear failure? Failure often stems from the belief that failure is a reflection of who we are, that failing means we are not good enough or capable enough. Key point 4, eliminate overthinking. Overthinking is one of the biggest barriers to success and progress. It's easy to get trapped in a cycle of analysis paralysis, where you endlessly deliberate on your options, second-guess your decisions, and worry about every possible outcome. While it's important to make thoughtful decisions, overthinking can be debilitating, leading to missed opportunities and stagnation. The key to overcoming overthinking is to take action, move forward without waiting for everything to be perfect or for all the answers to magically appear. When you break free from the grip of overthinking, you unlock the power of momentum, clarity, and progress. Why overthinking holds us back? Overthinking often comes from a place of fear and uncertainty. When faced with a decision or challenge, our minds naturally start to generate scenarios, both positive and negative, about what might happen next. We try to predict every possible outcome and ensure that we're making the right choice. While this might feel like being cautious or thorough, it can quickly devolve into a state of overwhelm. The issue with overthinking is that it creates a mental block that prevents you from taking action. Instead of moving forward and learning from experience, you become paralyzed by doubt. The more you analyze, the more options and possibilities you see, and the harder it becomes to choose a course of action. You might spend so much time thinking that you never actually do anything, and before you know it, time passes and nothing changes. Moreover, overthinking is often based on worst-case scenarios. Our minds tend to focus on potential problems, obstacles, and failures rather than the possibilities for success. We can get so fixated on what could go wrong that we fail to see the opportunities in front of us. The result is that we become so consumed by fear and indecision that we miss out on taking the necessary steps to move forward. The paradox of overthinking. Interestingly, Overthinking is often a response to the desire for control. We want to know everything before we act, and we want to be sure that our choices are safe, logical, and guaranteed to lead to success. But the paradox is that the more we overthink, the less control we actually have. The more we analyze, the more we stall, and the less we learn. Overthinking is also counterproductive because it leads to self-doubt. As you try to process every possible outcome and analyze every possible detail, you may find yourself questioning your abilities, skills, and judgment. This self-doubt is not based on facts or real evidence, but is simply a result of excessive rumination. In reality, there are very few situations where you can predict everything with absolute certainty. Life is inherently uncertain, and every decision involves a degree of risk. The more you try to eliminate uncertainty by overthinking, the more you end up paralyzing yourself with fear and confusion. The power of action in breaking the cycle? Action also creates momentum. The simple act of getting started, whether it's making a phone call, writing the first paragraph of a report, or taking that first step toward your goal, starts to generate momentum. As you keep moving forward, you build confidence, gain experience, and overcome the initial inertia that often comes with overthinking. Momentum keeps you in motion and makes it harder to fall back into the trap of overanalyzing. The importance of imperfect action. One of the key reasons people overthink is the desire for perfection. We want to be sure that every decision we make is the right one, that every step we take is calculated, and that nothing will go wrong. However, perfection is an illusion. No decision is ever perfect, and no action can be entirely risk-free. The best way to overcome the need for perfection is to embrace imperfect action. The antidote to overthinking is action. When you find yourself caught in a loop of overthinking, the most powerful thing you can do is to take action, no matter how small. Action cuts through the mental clutter and forces you to focus on the present moment. Instead of ruminating on what-ifs and worst-case scenarios, action gives you something concrete to focus on and allows you to learn and adjust as you go. Taking action provides clarity that overthinking simply cannot. When you take the first step, you begin to see the reality of the situation, not just the hypothetical scenarios you've been dwelling on. Action leads to feedback, and feedback leads to insight. As you move forward, you learn more about the challenges you face, the choices you have, and the skills you need to develop. The more you act, the clearer your path becomes, and the less paralyzed you feel by indecision. Imperfect action doesn't mean rushing or acting recklessly. It means taking action with the understanding that you won't have all the answers and that you may make mistakes along the way. It means being willing to learn as you go and adapting based on what you experience. The key is to move forward regardless of whether the conditions are perfect. The fear of making mistakes or taking the wrong action often fuels overthinking. But the truth is, mistakes are a necessary part of the learning process. They provide valuable lessons that help you grow and improve. By avoiding action out of fear of making a mistake, you rob yourself of the opportunity to learn and progress. Imperfect action allows you to gain real-world experience, and it's through this experience that you build the skills and knowledge needed to succeed. How to break free from overthinking. When you shift your perspective and recognize failure as an opportunity to learn and grow, you free yourself from the fear that holds you back from taking risks and pursuing your dreams. The most successful people in the world have failed countless times, but they understand that each failure is simply a stepping stone on the path to success. Failure is not the end, it's part of the process. The role of failure and growth. Failure is often seen as the opposite of success, but in reality, it's an integral part of the road to success. Every great achievement, invention, or accomplishment has been preceded by failure. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." He understood that failure is not something to be avoided, but something to be learned from. 4. Take small steps. If you're feeling overwhelmed, start with small actions. Even if you don't have the entire plan figured out, take a step in the right direction. The act of doing something, no matter how small, can help break the cycle of overthinking and move you toward your goal. 5. Reframe failure. If fear of failure is driving your overthinking, try to reframe failure as a learning opportunity. Understand that failure is not the end, it's simply a step on the path to success. The more you embrace the idea that mistakes are part of growth, the less you'll fear them. 6. Build confidence through action. The more you act, the more confident you become. Each small action builds momentum and reinforces the belief that you can handle challenges. Confidence diminishes overthinking because you begin to trust your ability to make decisions and learn from experience. Conclusion. Here are some practical strategies for overcoming overthinking and taking action. 1. Set clear priorities. Often, overthinking arises from feeling overwhelmed by too many choices or tasks. Set clear priorities and focus on what matters most. When you have a clear sense of what needs to be done, it becomes easier to take action. 2. Limit decision-making time. Give yourself a time limit to make decisions. For example, you might decide that you'll spend no more than 10 minutes analyzing a decision before moving on. This forces you to act quickly and stop overanalyzing. 3. Practice mindfulness. Overthinking often comes from focusing too much on the future or dwelling on past mistakes. Practicing mindfulness, being fully present in the moment, can help quiet your mind and reduce overthinking. When you focus on the task at hand, you're less likely to get caught in a cycle of rumination. Overthinking can paralyze you, keeping you stuck in a loop of indecision and fear. The solution lies in taking action, imperfect, bold action that moves you forward. When you stop overanalyzing and start doing, you break the cycle of doubt and gain clarity through experience. Every step you take brings you closer to your goal and reinforces your belief in yourself. So, eliminate overthinking, embrace action, and watch your life transform as you move toward the success you've always dreamed. 5. Embrace failures, as feedback. Failure is one of the most misunderstood aspects of success. Most people fear failure, avoid it at all costs, and see it as something negative to be ashamed of. But the reality is that failure is an essential part of the journey toward achieving any meaningful goal. Instead of seeing failure as something to fear or avoid, the key to success lies in embracing failures as feedback. This belief is reinforced by society, which often places a high value on perfection and success. We are conditioned to believe that failure is a bad thing and that we should avoid it at all costs. However, this mindset limits our growth. If we avoid failure, we avoid the lessons that come with it. We also avoid the opportunity to push ourselves beyond our comfort zones and take risks that could lead to breakthroughs. The fear of failure keeps us stuck in the same place, never growing, never evolving, and never achieving the extraordinary results that come from trying new things and learning from mistakes. Reframing failure as feedback to unlock your full potential. You must reframe how you view failure. Instead of seeing it as a negative outcome, see it as a valuable feedback mechanism that shows you what's not working and guides you toward a better solution. This shift in perspective allows you to approach failure with curiosity rather than fear. Instead of feeling discouraged or defeated when things don't go as planned, you can ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I adjust and improve? The key to making this mindset shift is to detach your self-worth from the outcome. Just because you fail at something doesn't mean you are a failure. Failure is a temporary setback, not an identity. When you separate your value as a person from the outcome of your efforts, you can experience failure without it diminishing your sense of self-worth. This shift in thinking allows you to approach challenges with confidence and resilience. Failure is a path to innovation. Some of the most groundbreaking innovations and inventions were born out of failure. Think about the creation of the airplane by the Wright brothers. They faced numerous failures and setbacks along the way, but they used each failure to refine their approach. They learned from each mistake and made adjustments until they finally achieved flight. In fact, many of the world's greatest discoveries were the result of failure. Post-it notes, penicillin, and microwave oven were all invented by accident through a series of failures and unexpected outcomes. These breakthroughs happened because the inventors didn't see failure as the end of the road. Instead, they saw it as part of the process of discovery and improvement. How to embrace failure as feedback. 1. Change your perspective. Instead of seeing failure as something negative, reframe it as feedback. Ask yourself what you can learn from each failure and how you can use that information to improve. 2. Don't take it personally. Failure is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply part of the process. Separate your identity from the outcomes of your efforts and view failure as a temporary setback rather than an indication of your abilities. 3. Learn from mistakes. Each failure teaches you something valuable. Take the time to reflect on what went wrong and how you can adjust your approach moving forward. 4. Stay persistent. Embrace resilience by continuing to push forward after each failure. Persistence is often the key to overcoming setbacks and achieving your goals. 5. Celebrate the lessons. Instead of dwelling on the disappointment of failure, celebrate the lessons and growth that come from it. Every failure is a chance to get one step closer to success. Conclusion: failure is not the end, it's an essential part of the journey to success. By embracing failure as feedback, you open yourself up to the lessons, growth, and breakthroughs that come with it. Failure teaches you what doesn't work, what needs improvement, and how to adjust your approach. It builds resilience, fosters innovation, and strengthens your resolve to keep going, no matter how many setbacks you face. The most successful people in the world are those who have failed the most. They understand that failure is not something to fear, but something to learn from. So the next time you face a failure, don't let it discourage you. Embrace it as feedback, adjust your approach, and keep moving forward. Your next success is just around the corner, and failure is simply the stepping stone that will get you there. Building resilience through failure. One of the most important benefits of failure is that it builds resilience. When you fail, it forces you to confront challenges, adapt, and persevere. Failure tests your commitment to your goals and strengthens your determination to keep going even when things aren't easy. Resilience is a key trait of successful people. They don't give up after facing setbacks. Instead, they use each failure as an opportunity to develop mental toughness and perseverance. They understand that challenges and obstacles are a natural part of life and that the path to success is rarely a straight line. By embracing failure, they build the strength to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. For example, when a business faces a setback, it can be easy to throw in the towel and give up. However, successful entrepreneurs see failure as an opportunity to learn and adapt. They analyze what went wrong, adjust their strategies, and keep moving forward. This resilience is what separates successful entrepreneurs from those who give up at the first sign of failure. In your own life, failure can lead to breakthroughs if you embrace it as a learning tool. If you keep going after each failure, testing new ideas, refining your approach, and learning from your mistakes, you will eventually find the success that you're looking for. Failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace as a necessary part of innovation and progress. Key point 6, focus on consistent improvement, not perfection. On the other hand, focusing on consistent improvement allows you to make steady progress, regardless of how small the steps might be. It's not about achieving massive success overnight, it's about getting a little bit better each day. This shift in focus changes everything. When you prioritize improvement, you develop the mindset of a learner, someone who is always growing and evolving. This mindset not only reduces the pressure to be perfect, but also keeps you moving forward, even when things don't go exactly as planned. The problem with perfectionism is a double-edged sword. On the surface, it might seem like a noble pursuit after all. Who wouldn't want to do their best and achieve the highest possible standards? However, perfectionism can quickly become paralyzing. When you're obsessed with perfection, you're more likely to experience stress, anxiety, and burnout. You're never satisfied with your results because no matter how much effort you put in, nothing ever feels good enough. In the pursuit of success, many people fall into the trap of striving for perfection. They believe that in order to achieve their goals, they must get everything right on the first try. However, perfection is not only unrealistic, but it also sets an impossible standard that can lead to frustration, disappointment, and ultimately stagnation. Instead of focusing on being perfect, the real key to long-term success is to prioritize consistent improvement. Small, incremental progress over time will always trump the pursuit of flawlessness. Perfection is a myth. It's an ideal that exists only in our minds. But when you get caught up in trying to be perfect, you set yourself up for failure. The quest for perfection often results in procrastination and hesitation. You might avoid taking action because you're afraid of making mistakes or producing something that doesn't meet your unrealistically high standards. Instead of moving forward, you stay stuck, waiting for the perfect time, situation, or outcome. Perfectionism also hinders creativity and innovation. When you're too focused on avoiding mistakes or making everything flawless, you become risk-averse. You shy away from experimentation, new ideas, and bold choices because you're afraid they won't work out perfectly. But creativity thrives on imperfection and exploration. Many of the greatest innovations in history were born out of trial and error, mistakes, and experimentation. When you let go of the need for perfection, you create space for growth, learning, and creativity. Another issue with perfectionism is that it often leads to procrastination. When you're waiting for everything to be perfect before you take action, you end up delaying progress. You might tell yourself that you're not ready yet, that you need more time to prepare, or that you'll start once you have all the information. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. If you wait for perfection, you'll never get started. The key is to take action even when things aren't perfect and trust that you can improve along the way. The power of consistent improvement is about taking small, manageable steps toward your goals every day. It's the idea that success isn't about making one grand perfect move, but rather about making incremental progress over time. This approach is often referred to as the 1% rule, the idea that if you get just 1% better every day, those small improvements will compound and lead to significant results over time. The beauty of consistent improvement is that it's sustainable. You don't need to make massive changes all at once. Instead, you focus on making small adjustments and refining your approach little by little. This allows you to maintain momentum without becoming overwhelmed. When you commit to getting just a little bit better each day, you create a positive feedback loop that fuels further progress. Consistent improvement also builds confidence. Each small success reinforces your belief in your ability to grow and achieve your goals. Over time, these small wins accumulate, and before you know it, you've made significant strides toward your objectives. This gradual progress reduces the pressure to be perfect because you're focused on the journey, not the destination. Why consistency beats perfection. 1. Sustainable progress. One of the key benefits of focusing on consistent improvement is that it leads to sustainable progress. Perfectionism often leads to burnout because it demands intense effort and unrealistic standards. On the other hand, consistent improvement is about making steady, manageable progress over time. This approach is much more sustainable in the long run, allowing you to maintain your energy and motivation without getting overwhelmed. 2. Builds momentum. When you focus on making small improvements, you build momentum. Each small action you take reinforces the habit of progress, making it easier to continue moving forward. Momentum is a powerful force. Once you get started and make even a little progress, it becomes easier to keep going. This momentum keeps you from falling into the trap of perfectionism, where you're constantly starting and stopping due to unrealistic expectations. 3. Reduces pressure. Perfectionism places enormous pressure on you to perform flawlessly, which often leads to stress and anxiety. However, when you prioritize consistent improvement, you reduce that pressure. You don't have to get everything right the first time, you just need to keep improving. This mindset frees you from the fear of making mistakes because you understand that mistakes are part of the learning process. 4. Encourages growth. The focus on consistent improvement encourages a growth mindset, the belief that you can always learn, grow, and improve. A growth mindset allows you to embrace challenges. Conclusion: the pursuit of perfection is often a trap that leads to frustration, procrastination, and stagnation. Instead of striving for flawlessness, focus on consistent improvement. Small, incremental progress over time is far more effective and sustainable than trying to be perfect from the start. When you prioritize improvement, you build momentum, reduce pressure, and cultivate a growth mindset. This approach allows you to make steady progress toward your goals, embrace mistakes as learning opportunities, and ultimately achieve success in a way that is both fulfilling and sustainable. Remember, success is not about perfection, it's about progress. By committing to getting just a little better each day, you set yourself on a path of continuous growth and improvement, leading to long-term success and fulfillment. 2. Embrace imperfection. Let go of the need to be perfect. Understand that mistakes and setbacks are a natural part of the process. Instead of beating yourself up when things don't go perfectly, view each setback as an opportunity to learn and improve. 3. Track your progress. Keeping track of your progress helps you stay motivated and focused. It also allows you to see how far you've come, which can be incredibly encouraging. Whether you use a journal, an app, or a simple checklist, tracking your small wins will remind you of the progress you're making. 4. Celebrate small wins, celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Acknowledging your efforts and accomplishments reinforces the habit of consistent improvement. It also helps keep you motivated and focus on the bigger picture. 5. Stay patient. Consistent improvement takes time. Be patient with yourself in the process. Remember that success is a marathon, not a sprint. The small steps you take today might not yield immediate results, but over time they will lead to significant growth. View failures as opportunities for learning and persist in the face of setbacks. This mindset is essential for long-term success because it fosters resilience and adaptability. 5. Compounds over time. The cumulative effect of small improvements is powerful. Over time, the small steps you take add up to significant changes. Just like compound interest in finance, the benefits of consistent improvement grow exponentially as you continue to make progress. This is why focusing on small, consistent actions can lead to massive results over time. How to focus on consistent improvement. 1. Set small, achievable goals. Instead of aiming for one huge, perfect outcome, break your goals down in smaller, manageable steps. These smaller goals are easier to achieve and help build momentum. For example, if your goal is to write a book, focus on writing 1 page a day. Over time, those small efforts will add up to a completed book.